Hey people, All Muscle here. A few days ago, a new IRL art exhibition of Fake Grand Order was opened to the public. This exhibition is part of the celebration of the 11th anniversary of FGO, and honestly, this exhibition looks insane. There's so much cool FGO stuff on that exhibition, from raw materials and sketches of both servants and in-game CGs, new art depicting all the Lost Wells and the servants and characters that appear on them, special illustrations made by each of the artists that had participated in the design of FGO characters, which you might have seen some of them since I posted one or two on my community feed. They even have a real Fu stuck on a wall of that gallery. I will try my best to showcase how amazing this exhibition looks by showing some of my favorite picks from it. But if you are somehow in Japan between today and September 14th, I recommend you to try to get tickets and to see it in real life, because it looks like an experience totally worth for a real FGO fan. But if you are a broke master like me, you should check out at Orta-chan-kawaii on Twitter, of course, is a Shelter fan, who was kind enough to take photos of all the exhibition and share them with the world. Regardless of all this cool artsy stuff, you see the title of this video. We aren't here to talk about FGO art. I mentioned this exhibition for a whole nother reason. You see, on the opening of this exhibition, there were interviews with both the main staff of FGO, which includes people like Chusan and Haga Keita, and with Nasu himself and his boyfriend Takeuchi, which is where I will be focusing on this video. This Nasu interview goes as most of their other previous interviews, talking about the usual fluff BS like who is their favorite servant, how is their grand servant roster looking like, who is their favorite summer servant. Which I have to make a little pause over here because I want to say that every time Nasu mentions Abigail, I get really frustrated, because I know for a fact that he's trying to foreshadow something that will take place in the story of FGO, but I can't prove it, unfortunately. There's a moment where Nasu displays his obsession with Oberon, and most importantly, they discuss about the cooking specialties of each crypter. This is, by all means, the important information I need from the guy who is in charge of this franchise. But they also talk a lot about stuff related to the ending of the Lost Well arc. I won't be getting into too much details because I want to avoid spoiling anything to you guys, but there is a part on the last question of the interview that really caught my attention. When Nasu answers about how much of the main story was according to plan and how much was improvised, he replies, "We have an established skeleton for it all, but whenever the plot progressed from the end of part 1 to the end of Epic of Remnant to the halfway point of part 2, we progressively got more meat on each bone. But specifically for the final battle of part 2, I have a concrete vision of what I wanted back when part 1 finished. So the rest all felt like rowing the boat with my life on the line to reach the final battle." I found this part really interesting because I feel like the milestones that Nasu mentioned on this interview are also key points where the FGO main story started to slow down its pace. Those who are new to the game and are used to only having 1 or 2 main story chapters per year might don't know what I'm yapping about right now, but back in the day we used to get between 3 or 4 main story chapters per year, until around when Atlantis was about to drop, which will be the halfway point of part 2 that Nasu mentions on the interview. I always blamed the change of developers from the Lightworks to Lasengel for this change of pace in the main story, which also was around the time Lost Well 5 part 1 was about to come out. But now, knowing that Nasu started to freestyle the last half of the Lost Well arc, I'm starting to think the change of pace might just have been his fault all along. especially knowing the length of some of these main story chapters, like Lost Well 6 for example, and how much time this mushroom takes to write stuff. Don't get me wrong though, I will rather have fewer yearly main story chapters released with a great story that doesn't retcon itself than having multiple story chapters that doesn't make sense altogether. But if Nasu already has a proper plan for what will happen in Arc 3 of FGO, then that will mean that we could go back to having some proper written main story chapters that doesn't have a 6-month period between each other. Regardless of me overreading and coping about what Nasu says like I usually do, I recommend you to go read the interviews of this FGO exhibition if you don't mind spoilers of the ending of part 2 of FGO. There is a lot of important and interesting FGO facts addressed by Nasu itself that unfortunately I can't touch on this video. So I will just leave you the link to the Reddit threads of the interviews in the comment section for anyone who's curious about them. Anyways guys, that will be it for now. Like this video and subscribe to the channel for more videos hating on the Mushroom Man, and let me know in the comment section what are your thoughts about this Takeuchi and Nasu interview. It's been your boy Muscle. Until next time, bye bye!